Hi everyone, Paul Akers, host of the American Innovator. You know, the innovative spirit is alive and well, and everywhere I travel around the world, I bring back ideas and creativity to share with my audience to continuously improve and change the way we live. Welcome to the American Innovator. Well, welcome back to the American Innovator. If you remember last week, we were talking about having a lean bathroom, and Greg was so passionate about this being the way to start. And this week, we're going to learn more about over-communicating. And Greg has some incredible insight on leveraging technology, and he does a fabulous job on both points. So welcome back to the American Innovator, and let's go right back to our interview, part 2 with Greg Glebe.
It's a job, though. It's a job to get this internalized.
Sure, and it takes time, and it's not easy, but at the end of the day, you've made such great progress in 4 or 5 months. Now, the other day, yesterday, you sent me a message that was fantastic. Number one is Greg is very technologically savvy. You know, we do Skype conference calls. One of the things that Greg suggested that we do that is a great innovation is I couldn't make it out to his place to, you know, to take a little tour and see his guys. And he said, let's do a Skype interview with everyone. So I actually you got all your guys on the Skype call, and they all asked me questions, and we had like a little Skype roundtable. Right. Oh, I mean, how incredibly smart was that? Now, I've done that with other companies now because of your insight on this, Greg. And the result is it saves me a tremendous amount of time, makes me a lot more effective, and I can reach more people more quickly because of that great innovation. Now, the reason I bring that all up is you sent me a message the other day that you use Skype with all your customers and YouTube videos and things like that. Tell the story about what happened when you did that with a customer, I think down in Santa Fe or wherever it was. Do you remember?
Well, there's one of the things that, you know, we've been going through a process of really hammering out our values, and this is related to what you're talking about. Just give me a second to give you some background on it. So there's a book out there that everybody who has an organization of any sort, 2 or 3 people, it doesn't matter, you've got to read a book called The Advantage, and it's by Patrick Lencioni or Lencioni. Wonderfully classical, you know, Italian name with a lot of vowels on it.
I'm looking it up right now. Go ahead.
Anyhow, this guy, now this book was suggested to me by a handful of highly successful people, very, very, very effective people. And the book helps clarify your values and, you know, what matters essentially. And we get to delete this part of this, Paul.
Why?
Because I totally lost track.
No, are you kidding? I'm keeping it, man.
Really?
That's what happens when you're over 50 years old, man. You have these senior moments all the time.
Oh, I know what it is.
I love it. Okay, The Advantage. Here, I'll help you out a little bit.
Yeah, so the Advantage is a great book, and can we just do an outtakes thing here?
Take 2. The Advantage. Everyone's got to get the book, The Advantage. Take 2.
Why wouldn't we want to get the book An Advantage? It's a fantastic book. It helps give you clarity. What was the damn question, Paul?
Oh, that's what happens. But see, that's another reason why I love Greg, because he's got ADD, ADHD, ABC. You got all the same problems that I have.
Oh, about Skype. Hold on.
Yeah. We were talking about video
There's 2 things.
conferencing.
Ready? Take 4.
Okay, got it. Take 4.
Skype question. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
I'm gonna bring this down.
Narrow focus, Greg. Just answer one question at a time.
You should see what's going on in here.
I know.
So you asked about Skype. One of our values is to maximize technology for the benefit of the team and the customer. And I put the team a little bit before, because if we don't have our act together, then we're not going to take care of our customer.
Right.
And I know that Southwest kind of turned the tables a little bit. It really is about the customer, but you got to have that united team and maximize technology. So we use YouTube for, we're on the shop floor and we're doing a custom project that we think will probably maybe become a product because it's driven by our customers' needs, right? So we just did a project, for example, where we're doing a beautiful jewelry showcase for a place down in Sedona. And there was two things going on. One, I had some questions for the customer. So we did a little YouTube video. Hey, Mike, I wanted to show you what we're doing here. I got some suggestions, some concerns. What do you think? Boom. You can't get anything more efficient than that, uploaded wirelessly. It's just incredible.
And clear. That's over communicating. The clarity is way off the chart.
It's over the top useful because they can replay it when they can do it when they want on their own terms. They can respond when they want. And we can get total clarity. And so that was one piece of it. The other thing is during the process of this, because we intended, this is sort of a thing that's going to become, it's sort of a market product anyhow, and we're doing our version. It's like, hey guys, let's not go back to the desert and dig down for water again to get that drink of water. Let's make sure we record this and we categorize it so it's searchable on YouTube. So we title it according to what it is, so we can go to YouTube and find it. So we did a series of little videos on how we did this. Because as you know, as a cabinet maker, you got jigs hanging on your wall. Right. You have no idea what that jig is from 2 years ago. And so if you put a QR code on there, it'll link you right to that YouTube. The guys on the floor, I'm going to get them iPads. And they can go out there and on any of these things where, new trainees, how to use this piece of equipment, man. The new guy goes up and he watches the videos right on the floor of the machine and he looks at it in real time. He understands that. To really enhance our training program. Hugely useful. And there's other stuff that we're doing with it as well.
So you're leveraging technology really effectively, and it's very elegant and it's very simple. So now what happened when the customer was on, I think, a FaceTime call with you? So you're using YouTube, then you're on a FaceTime call, and what did the customer say?
Yeah, so there's, again, just, I always joke about the 90s. The 90s have come and gone. It's like, hey, Greg, it's the 90s, even though it's 2013. Yeah, so I've been a little, a late adapter in some areas, but technology, once I got clear on it, it's like, this is the only thing, this is it. So we're in a video-centric culture right now and playing the catch-up. The kids have been on it, so to speak, for, a decade or 5-7 years, pretty heavy. So what we want to do and what we are doing with our site, and we're rebuilding Xylem Design. Go look at it right now. It's frightening. But we're doing interviews with our customers as a follow-up, and we're recording it. We use Snagit. What's the software you're using?
I use Camtasia 2.
So we're going to play with that and see which one works better. But the idea is I'm calling the customers back, the ones who are willing to do a YouTube, Skype thing. Not everybody's hip to that. But find the people who I'd like to do that. That'd be fine. Call them up and ask them hard questions, not all softball questions, because that's inauthentic. And so we want to show our customers that we talk to someone who's considering working with us. I want them to really see the real us, and I don't want things fluffed up too much to the point where it's just inauthentic. So we'll take care of problems right there during the interview, and they can watch that.
But your customer saw your shop and said, "Wow, nice shop."
Yeah. So on that one with down in Sedona, I didn't really think about that, but he was looking. I was showing him some videos of his case that we were working on. And his comment was, "Thank you so much for the video. It really clarified these things for me. Let's go with A choice versus B. Oh, and by the way, your shop looks magnificent." So the fact that it just made my heart, go thumpity thump.
I've heard said before by other companies who do lean, for instance, Hawks in my book where I talk about that. They said their factory was their salesman. When people came to visit their factory, it was so remarkable that sold the job every time. And so Jeff Koss, who you're going to go visit Jeff, the same thing with Koss Taylor, who makes interiors for high-end aircrafts, for the Boeing 787 and a whole myriad of other projects. When people walk in, when Starbucks walks into Jeff's facility and sees this lean culture in action, they just the total confidence. It's made. It's not even. They wouldn't even consider going to somebody who's doing stuff the old way, because the old way is so antiquated compared to the lean methodology of running any kind of company.
There isn't a question. Let me tell you this, Paul. I think it's critical also to anybody out there, and we're gonna start giving tours in the fall. I mean, we've only been 5 months into this. This is pretty ballsy, for lack of a better word.
And you'll rock it.
Yes, and so what I got to say is, and this story came from a buddy of mine. I'll just say it was Glenn, and I won't tell you the company just for the sake of legal reasons. But he's been doing lean and really strong on it for many years actually. And he had a $1 billion plus $1.7 billion company come in, and they were weighing whether they're going to deal with him or somebody else. And after he got the the agreement to work with them, he said, so what was it kind of made you decide to work with us? He said, they said, your floor was immaculate. And so my goal is to have this shop. My goal here, Paul, is to have our shop. And I tell the guys, I can talk about visual visions easily. I said, my goal is to have this shop look like you've walked into an Apple store. All of our walls are covered with white melamine. We don't use drywall in the work areas. When we conquer an area, we put white melamine. Half-inch melamine up costs us $22. It's cheaper to process than flipping hardboard and taping and painting anyhow. You can screw anywhere on it, right? So any of you cabinet makers, if you're looking to put a wall up and you want to put, stuff on it with shadow lines, melamine's cheap if you do the math. And you're done. And then we do the seams with, of course, your edge tape.
Right.
And we've been working around the areas like that, and it's fantastic, clean, and we painted our white floors white because when you walk in, I want it bright.
In a cabinet shop. This is
in a cabinet shop. I want people to walk in there and feel like angels are singing to them. The angels of.
Greg, I think I said this maybe one time on the radio, but I can't recall if I have. But this is a powerful story. I was just in Ken Merce Company, who makes the signals in your car. You know how you have when you put on your blinker, the blinker shows up in your side view mirrors.
Right.
He developed the technology for that, and he basically makes those mirrors for every manufacturer in the world, with the exception of BMW and Mercedes, but Toyota, Jaguar, Rolls-Royce, you name it, everybody uses his technology.
Slick.
Okay? And Ken was an ex-Wall Street guy. And when I toured his plant, which was exactly what you said, all the walls were white, the floor was white, it was spectacularly clean. I asked him why he did that, and he said, as an ex-Wall Street guy, I used to tour factories all the time to evaluate whether or not the company was well managed, to see whether or not I would say, let's invest in this company or this company. Right. And I learned from my mentor, he said, early on told me, pay attention to how clean the factory is, one. Number two, if you want to make a statement to the world, produce a factory that is sparkling clean, that is easy to understand. So he said, when I got into manufacturing, I had spent so much time on manufacturing floor seeing bad and seeing the occasional good.
Right.
And my mentor told me, if you want to do something great, make it sparkling clean and make it easy to understand. That I naturally went ahead and did that. And he said when he did that, he spent $80,000 painting his facility. $80,000. He said, and it's incredible.
Yeah.
But anyway, he said, when I did that, everybody walks in, the Japanese who are so particular, they walk into his plant in Wisconsin, and they immediately say, done. We're doing business with this guy. He totally gets it.
Yeah, and I tell you, as a way, and again, my mom, who was a very religious person, said we were talking about spiritual growth and whatnot, and she said your externals affect your internals, so who you are. So if you have a world that's chaotic and slovenly and has no moral boundaries, you're just going to absorb that. You are what you eat and surround yourself with and roll around in. So in light of that, I thought, I've always been affected by that. And it's like when anyone's trying to get their life turned around, they sort of naturally, at least they organize and clean up. And that gives them a state of some degree of clarity for the moment. They don't realize they don't have a system and a discipline, but it's sort of, it's the right direction. So for me, if our guys walk in, and they tell me this, a lot of these guys say, I'm excited to come to work. I've never been excited about that before. But a big piece of that is just starting with the physical environment. I was telling one of my guys this morning. The order that's been created. It's a sense of order, gives you a sense of belonging and just clarity. And I talked to one of these guys, and we're always rebuilding stuff. I said, I'm going to hand this job to you. This particular area of the shop, where everybody walks through first thing in the morning, I said, I want this to look like the console to a Ferrari in 30 days. And even though we'll change it again, but I want every workstation to be immaculate, free of clutter. And when a customer or one of us walks in, because it's equally important, it has that psychological impact. And that is one of those things where if someone was just a pencil pusher, they'd say, well, what's the payback on that? And I go, immeasurable, but profound.
Wow.
Right?
Greg, I mean, like I said, I started this interview and I said I was excited. I was excited because you bring so much passion and energy to it and so much creativity. I mean, I already said your two products are phenomenal. And here you've given these great visuals of a Ferrari dashboard. Why shouldn't work look like that?
There's no reason.
Powerful concept.
Yep.
I love it.
I don't want to go on. You're driving the time on this, Paul. I got all the time in the world. I don't know how you do the show.
It's all good. So there are two visual pictures I want the listener to go away with. One is Greg putting the porta potty outside.
Yeah. We call that an incentive.
Wow.
To not get kicked to the curb.
The Ferrari dashboard. What a contrast. What a strong visual mental picture on what you've done in such a short period of time. So I will say, Greg, when you start letting people tour your place, lean is going to go to a whole nother level for you because you have to be on your game so much more when you have people looking at you. And that's what we got out of it when we started letting people tour. And we got that idea from Jeff Koss, who you're going to meet. Jeff said, hey, he said, I'm letting people tour myself. He said, why? I said, why? He says, you'll see why. You're going to have to operate a whole level.
Yeah, you're putting the gun to your own head by choice.
Yeah.
And I'm telling the guys also, Paul, people will, they will come to a level of performance that they don't realize they're capable of once you get clarity on it. And rising to the occasion is, I got a group of people out there and they are fantastic human beings. They want to do well. They want to improve. And one of the things I've seen, and I'm starting to harp on it, you prime a pump before it starts to draw water, right?
Yeah.
So I've been priming a pretty large bore pump. And so I've been pouring some water / cash into doing some stuff that is necessary. And I'm getting a couple good suction. I'm getting some flow, a little bit of flow, and then you get some air bubbles or whatever.
But it's not equal necessarily to the amount of money you're putting into it. So
no, at the moment,
there's not a return on investment necessarily yet.
You got to understand that the well has plenty of water down there. Trust me, it's plenty of depth. It's a good aquifer. But the bottom line is you've got to pump. You got to prime that pump. And so we're creating, we're priming it and we're creating that conduit. And I'm letting these guys know, hey, just a little heads up. We're going to be offering tours this place. It was actually, something was triggered by a shop teacher I was talking to, looking to recruit some people. And he said, do you tour? And I said, come to think of it, I do, because I know I picked that up somewhere else. And so I said, probably October. And then I told the guys, here's what we're going to start doing. And so I've noticed a distinct change in a lot of the guys on the floor, just their attitude about it. And it's a process.
Sure.
It's a process.
I gave a tour, about a week and a half ago. And I think of all the people, and our place looked pretty good a week and a half ago, but I think of all the tours that came before that, I go, oh my gosh, they're terrible. But every time I do it, we just keep getting better and better and better. It's a great thing. One last thing, okay? Yeah. You just sent me a text message about Zach's new desk. Talk about that, because it's fantastic.
Well, you can post a picture of that too.
I will. I'll play the picture as you're talking, so people.
Yeah, and I'll show you mine. So the deal is, again. I'm a kinetic kind of guy. I just want to do stuff. And we know that you guys have gone to stand-up desks. Everyone who's watched your show maybe has looked at some of the lean stuff, the lean thing, as they say. Right. And so one of the things is just decluttering and don't create more horizontal space than you need, because I assure you nature abhors a vacuum. And it will fill with crap immediately. And so I'm suffering with a 46 by 26 stand-up desk right here. It's a pedestal on wheels, because we're in the pedestal business. And in the process of that, Zach, my tech guy, was right behind me, and this whole area was cluttered. I have a before video that I can show you.
Right.
But we were trying to get a whole lot of stuff done all at once, and had all my main cabinet guys up here, and we're just tearing the place apart. I said, Zach, you're going to go in the next room with Chris. You belong next to him because he's doing the website. So we chased Zach over there, and we had a couple wall shelves, because we're just going to start offering wall shelves, which are just 3 inches by 9 inches deep by whatever width you want. And I had a couple cherry shelves sitting there, and I said, hang those up. It's perfect. So he's got 2 monitors on the upper shelf, and the other shelf is 9 inches by like 3 feet, and he's got his keyboard and his mouse. He's an IT guy. And all he needs to do is this, and so it works great, and
it is the best example. I love it. It's my favorite lean desk.
Super lean.
He rocks and roll, and so outside the box. I love it. So, Greg, you're amazing. I know you're going to do awesome, and you're already doing awesome. But I want to keep posted on your improvements and stuff. And you've got a lot of great videos, and we'll let our listeners see those as you send them to us. But great stuff, man.
Yeah. Well, thanks for calling in, Paul. And I'd say to anybody also on the videos, do the videos. There's 3 things I could say. Let me tell you. You ready?
Yeah.
See the 3 pillars of lean.
Yeah.
Learning to see wastes.
You got it.
Eliminating them through the process of continuous improvement. And hey guys, what's the 3rd one? I don't know. Make videos.
Yeah.
Before and after. I assure you, we don't want the befores to all be mythology. We want them to be things that we can go back and look at.
Well, Greg, I'll tell you what. The next time I get a speaking gig that I can't do, I'm calling you, and you're going to take it over because you do a better job than me. You have more passion than me. You are off the charts. You rock.
Baloney, but that's all right.
Awesome.
Thanks for your time.
Greg, so much. Okay. We'll talk to you later.
Remember, life's an adventure. Be a part of the solution. Go out, learn, improve, change, think outside the box. We can change the way the world thinks. Be an innovator. I really got to stop getting myself in these situations. That's a leopard, and that's an elephant. Yes, and this is a cheetah.
Like, oh, I saw
Here,
that.
kitty, 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 kitty,
Oh,
kitty.
cute. He wants to play.
Uh-oh. Got it.